Peace. Good morning, family. How you doing? It's Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. And today is 1 April, the 1st of April. I could say April Fools, but it's not. We're not fools, and neither are you. So yeah, I knew I was going to do a show today to talk about alone and lonely and stuff like that. But I'm going to change it up a little bit. Change it up a lot because yeah. But out of gratitude, again, we'll always start the same. Definitely appreciate everybody that's here right now in Facebook land, those that are watching on Facebook, those that are commenting good morning on Facebook or on YouTube and stuff like that, and everybody in the podcast space. I definitely want to thank you and appreciate you. With this being the first of the month, I'm gonna go ahead and shout out and give thanks to those who are listening in the podcast land. So again, Italy be holding it down. Italy, thank you and I appreciate you. India, Nigeria, Germany, Canada, Indonesia, Puerto Rico, Singapore, South Korea, United Kingdom, South Africa, Russia, Austria, Kenya, Morocco, Mexico, New Zealand, Ireland, Turkey, the Netherlands, Pakistan, Algeria, Slovenia, Namibia, Dominican Republic, and Austria. Definitely thank and I appreciate you guys for listening and wanting to listen and continue uh, to listen as well. So again, like I said before, we're gonna change it up. Again, I was gonna talk about alone and lonely, but I feel convicted. Um, I guess that's the blessed thing about doing podcasts. We're able to talk and communicate and be open about how you feel or how you felt about something. So um, I really can't talk about alone and lonely like I was going to. So I guess y'all get that work another day. Um, I just have to be transparent about it. Um, as men, I can only speak as for a man from a man's perspective because I'm not a female. Uh, as men from a man's perspective, um, I think the worst thing that a man can do um, to his woman or a significant other or wife or whatever life partner, whatever you want to call it, or call them, whoever that person is to you in your life, is to, I guess, make them feel lonely. Make them feel lonely to where it feels like there is an absence of body or absence of mind. And my convictions uh is leading me to and through this conversation. Even as fathers, father an absent father could pour the emotions of being lonely, into his household, to where he's pouring lonely into his children, into his daughters and into his sons. And a lot of times when those things happen and take place, that's how, a child could develop even separation anxieties because of the feelings of being alone and being lonely. And and you don't know how much that can affect that child growing up, even as an adult, from when that father pour that lonely emotions into that child. For me, again, just being transparent, allowing myself to make the her feel lonely. Um, I could have done something different. I could have done something more. Uh, I could have paid attention more in the time and to give time. And when you take away time, as men, we know we're not right all the time. We know we're not perfect all the time. But we can do better as men. We can do better as men by just wanting to show up. Even just to want to show up and to show up, there's a big difference between the two. And I didn't do that yesterday. And my convictions, again, I say all the time, without conviction there would be no correction. And in my conviction and feeling that way about making, you know, the woman feel alone and lonely, um, it doesn't feel good, especially when you see it, as a man, especially when you see it in someone, that feels disappointed because you brought that emotion into the situation, and out of disappointment, that's where my convictions come into play. And because of my convictions, there has to be some correction there. So this is me. This is my transparency. Um, this is how I feel. You know, um, yeah, this is a podcast. Consistency is currency. Um, so just, I guess I just need to be more consistent about being present and be more consistent about ensuring there is an absence of lonely um, in the home. So, I mean, if you ever been in that situation to where you felt alone, or you were the person that made or brought that lonely feeling or emotion, the best thing to do is really just be transparent, about it, and see and look at what your responsibility was in those feelings, and what was brought to the table, because there won't be any correction, especially if you're not transparent enough to communicate about it, and transparent and open enough to look at what areas that you are responsible for and responsible in, um, and grow from that. Um, and that's what makes it hard. Transparency has to be something that you want to do. And because you want to be transparent, there's healing that comes through transparency. There's there's new developments that come through when a man wants to be transparent enough to 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 lay down his pride and to lay down his guard, to open up his hands, to open up his arms, and to absorb new energies. And through the absorption of new energies, then that's when things become a lot more heartfelt, because they're open enough to be transparent, and they should be open enough to open their mouth to talk about how they feel and how they felt. So making a woman feel lonely and making a woman feel alone, um, is definitely not the great thing to do. It's definitely not. Um, Again, I just had to, because I couldn't come on here and talk about being lonely and alone, knowing that I feel convicted from what I did, this past day, and doing that, especially we as entrepreneurs and people with visions and visionaries, we put a lot and pour a lot into a lot of other things, and pour a lot into a lot of other people, that we don't pour enough into the people that pour into us, or we don't pour enough into the people that are there when you poured so much into everybody else that you had nothing left. So monitor and acknowledge the things that you pour into, but you always have to be open enough to 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 ensure that you can um, acknowledge when the things that you're doing could develop a lonely or a lone spirit, in the home. So that's all I got. Uh, so that's all I got. But I appreciate you for listening. I appreciate y'all for listening. So I know it's not just me, but I'll start the conversation to say we as men should be open enough to know that allowing a woman to feel lonely could open the doors to a whole lot of stuff that we could have prevented. And we can change that, but we have to want to change it. And it takes courage. It takes courage to say it as much as it takes courage to want to do it. So, hey, brothers out there, we can do better. Because we know we can. And I'll leave you on that. But y'all be blessed. I'll see you Monday. We'll be back here Monday, 7:30. Again, I guess I'll have a alone and lonely part 2 to where I got a whole lesson plan on alone and lonely. But today I couldn't do it without opening up about something that I could have corrected. So hopefully this helps somebody else out, because I guess this openness and being transparent, I guess it helped me. It's like I'm sitting in, that little Catholic thing where they sit there through confessions. I don't know. It'll be all right. But I'll see you next week. I'll see you Monday at 7:30. And y'all be blessed. This is April. For all you April babies, I'm an April baby, April 6th. So for all you April babies out there, let's celebrate this whole month by doing something great and being a blessing to somebody else. We all know what Aries do. We'll bless a whole lot of other people. But y'all be blessed. Peace.